Hello everyone, welcome to CyberScoop TV. Greg Otto, your managing editor here. We're coming to you from the Andrew Mellon Auditorium for Cyber Talks, and I'm talking with Susie Adams, Microsoft CTO of Federal. Susie, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, there's just been another year of hallmark hacks. I'm talking about Equifax, SEC, FDIC, IRS. What needs to change when it comes to thinking in terms of the breaches so we don't have another year like this in 2018?
So I think the major thing, if you look at how technology is changing right now and just the way that people work is changing, what we used to have as a physical perimeter to our data centers is now a virtual perimeter. It's almost perimeterless, if you will. And so the biggest challenge, I think, for federal agencies or for large organizations today is how do I protect that virtual edge that extends to almost any device, the device du jour today, as well as data that lives both in their data center and multiple cloud vendors' data centers and on multiple devices. And so when you think about the changes, we're used to protecting just our network. Now we need to protect the data regardless of where it lives. And so it really comes down to really two things: assuming breach, and then making sure that you look at identity as the new firewall and devices as the new edge.
Okay, so a lot of what we talk about with this seems to be reactive. What's a good proactive approach to take in the future?
So in the last 10 years or so, we had this mantra: protect, detect, respond. But in reality, what most organizations were doing were protecting and responding, and not spending any time really on the detection pieces of this.
Okay.
And so we would protect our edge networks. We would say, there's no way any intruder's ever going to get into our physical perimeter. And then 220 days later, we would respond to an event that we just determined happened. And so that bad actor had been inside our data center, looking at our data for 221 days. And so really what we're seeing now as we move to the next generation of computing is a huge emphasis on detection and anomaly detection, and not just detection from I'm going to run a log report or the traditional ways that we think about detection, but by using the power of the cloud and hyperscale compute, big data analytics, machine learning, to see anomalies that humans wouldn't normally be able to see. And let me give you a quick example. So imagine if your identity has actually been stolen, and so now the thief has a valid identity, and they were to log on using that identity from machines all over the globe and try to access your data at the same time. Because they have a valid credential, that typically wouldn't be noticed. With machine learning and advanced analytics capabilities with the power of the cloud, you can actually see those types of analogies and then apply policies to those to be able to easily kick the attacker out. Okay,
so another big part of this is the human element. We've heard so much about a cybersecurity workforce shortage. How can we alleviate that moving forward?
That's a hard one, right? I think a lot of this is investing in people to bring them up to speed on the new technologies, and having, and it starts at the top, really. At the top, we have to be not afraid to lean forward, to look at adding new tools to their cyber toolbox. So don't forget what you're doing today. You still need to do the defense in depth, right? Protect your firewalls, have good hygiene, best practices in place. But you also need to look at leveraging hyperscale compute and some of the new capabilities that are out there today to advance your technologies in the way that you're protecting your data.
Okay, and finally, so much of what we deal with in this space seems to be negative as of late. What's one positive thing that you see going on in the cybersecurity world?
I think there's actually a lot of positives going on,
okay.
and I think it's really because of the cloud.
Okay.
Being able to use machine learning and big data analytics to take signal not just from the network and the physical devices, but at the application layer, and put those all together in a data lake, and then be able to do analysis on this in real time and see cyber threats in real time is just huge. It's going to give us the ability now to be able to feel much better about protecting data as it lives on the edge and allowing people to work the way they need to work.
Okay, Susie, appreciate your insight. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel, and for more on cybersecurity, check out cyberscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.